Alright, welcome! We're going to be doing the stream tonight. We're going to be doing a PC build. We're going to be doing Tigereyez new tonight. So, this should be interesting. She's got putting an i5 in it. I'm sorry, not an i5, a Ryzen 5 in it. And other than get ready for the stream, I have not actually done any prep on this PC, so I'll be doing the whole thing on stream here. So one of the things we're going to be doing with this PC build that's going to be a little different is that Tigereyez, this case comes with some blue fans, which are going to be interesting to get at here. I'm pretty sure the front faceplate's going to have to come off. This case comes with some blue fans. We're going to be replacing those with some different rainbow fans that Tigereyez has asked for. So we tried to find her a case with a bunch of rainbows in it, but we were unable to find one that had solid reviews. So I'm going to make one. These are going to be for the fans. Let's see if we can figure out how to get this front off of here. Tigereyez, if you could grab a flashlight at one point, I think that might be helpful. I don't want to get too rough with this front until I figure out how it comes apart. Need a little bit more light here. See? Light was helpful. One more thing. Tigereyez, could you hand me the my wingman right there? Hey, that one dude named Matt. How are you? Doing a PC build tonight. The variety streamer. I like to do a variety of things. I don't think you guys can see it on here, but you guys certainly, maybe you can. There's some pins that are basically holding the face on here. So we're gonna mod this case. Tigereyez, could you hold this flashlight 1 second? This part's a little tricky here. Yeah, that's definitely holding on. I am good. I'm just gonna call you Matt because that's just like too long to say every single time. You're fine. Just need some light right over here. This way. There you go. Let me know if the music is a little too loud. I'm just trying to... That better be the last one. There we go. There we go. Missy in the house. How are you tonight, Missy? There we go, look at that. I'm hoping. There we go. That's plastic. I ain't gonna scratch this. Let's do that. Alright. No, I think I'm good. I'll put it like this. You can just put it right there, right on that thing, right there. I actually have the music kind of loud in here. Alright, so what we're going to do start off with here. This is, so Tigereyez asked for, these are set up to go blue. These are the default case that we took the front off this case, and we're going to be modding this here. She did not want the blue fans. She wanted rainbow fans. So what we've got here, and there we go. What we've got here, direct from Asia Horse. You know, of course, the name and quality here. We've got these fans, which are supposed to be rainbow colored. So we're going to take these out, and we are going to go ahead and replace these fans in here. For anybody ever building a PC, usually most people are like, don't be using power tools. This one's a bit different. This one is different in that I have a setting on here that I can do that will not drive the screw in with too much force. So how is everybody doing tonight? Look at this. I got a brand new blue fan for my case. Tigereyez doesn't want this color. Get this piece out of there. There we go. They put these they put the headers on for the power supply. Alright, there's one. So brand new fan from Rosewell. Actually, you know, this is now the third Rosewell case I have bought, and I've always like shied away from like cheaper cases. But when I was doing my last build, I went ahead and I was like, let's try a cheap one, and I'm actually very impressed with their cases. I mean, they're not perfect, but I mean the quality of them is considerably better than some of the other cases I've bought over the years. So I can't fault it. Third case, and I'm happy with them all. Oh, Matt, you totally have to come to the game nights. They are totally outrageous. Alright, there we go. There's number 2. Yeah, they're a ton of fun, Matt. We play Jackbox and all kinds of other games. Now, my goal here tonight, I'm actually off of work tomorrow. Hey, Tigereyez. Crap. I'm actually off from work tomorrow. I took some time off to get some things ready. So there we go. Fan number 2 out of the mix. There we go. I think that gets a little... There you go. A little better visibility. What did I do with the last one? So, the other thing that I've been working on here too today, which was nice, was inspiration hit today. I was writing music today, so that was actually super awesome. I was super excited to be doing that. This is interesting. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. It's for right here. Huh. It's a weird spot to put a fan. The reason why I say it's a weird spot to put a fan is because the only thing behind here are the drive bays, which, you know, nobody really uses. Well, at least we're not putting a physical drive in this. Actually, there will be no moving parts except for fans inside this PC. Yeah, so little story about how this all worked out here. Tigereyez, I've been really trying to convince to get a new PC. And I'm like, you know, the one she's on is a laptop and it's good. It does its job, but the problem is with her PC is it's just the laptop's just underpowered for any kind of gaming. So she's been wanting to play Shell Shock and some of the other games we've been playing on stream, and we picked up Uno off of Steam. And along with Uno, we also picked up the Game of Life. So we've got some new games that we're gonna. Let's hope these are pointing the right way. Put the airflow on here. I'm gonna be real pissed if I just put that in backwards. Look at that box. How hard is it to stamp airflow on the damn thing? Oh, no info. If they're in the wrong way, I'm gonna be pissed. They put all this other molding on here and they can't put a freaking arrow. I don't know. Figure it out. If it blows in, we'll go ahead and, you know what? I'm thinking they gotta go the other way. How do these go in? Yeah, I gotta go the other way. Yeah. Well, we're gonna. I'm okay with Uno. I want to play that one, but I wanted to play some Shell Shock too. So I like that Shell Shock game. Oop! I almost put the last screw in. I'm gonna reverse this. I'm pretty sure that crap. Gotta go the other way. Nope, got it. There we go. I'm gonna mount it the same way the other one went in. Kind of interesting, these fans actually are, these edges on the fan are actually rubber, which is really weird. I don't know, maybe they thought it would seem like it's much better quality. Damn, you're hilarious, buddy. I have put so many PCs together over the years. I don't usually go to this length though to on a case, but what Tigereyez wanted. And who am I to argue? There we go. There's one. Nice police emote. That one's cool. What channel is that one from? Well, I guess I have my mouse. Dan? Yeah, that's exactly the case, Ham. So yeah, Tigereyez wanted to play more of these games, so This PC should do her just fine for years to come, unless she really starts getting into gaming. She got all new parts on it. The only new part she did not get that was new was the video card. I upgraded my video card to a 1060, so she got my old 1050. Other than that, everything is brand new here, including these new colorful fans. This thing is going to look like Fruit Loops when it's done. I really... It's going to be awesome. And what's cool is I was actually talking with Tigereyez. I've been actually brainstorming. I think there should be a way that if she wants to stream, she's close enough to my PC with her new PC, that we can, we could actually get her on the same stream. Alright, I think we're good. Just make sure we got the cables here. We are good. Alright, only do this once. Yep. Sorry for the pop there. That should be it. Alright, so we now have two fans, two connectors ready to go here. So now we're just at the last fan. Yeah, gotta use a power drill. So this one's different. So this fan, this one here actually supports, it's got the special connector on it. So this one actually supports the Asus Aura. And if you've not used it before, my PC uses it, but basically the motherboard actually controls the LED lights in the case. How did they put this fan on? There's no connector. Oh, there it is. Same thing. Turn this around. Alright, there we go. I do like my man tools. I like my manly tool. I'm not a fan of these particular screws they used here. I don't know if anybody's ever seen these before, but what they do with these screws for some of these cases like this, and they use nice ones on the other side, but this side they use these like ones that go and dig into the plastic, and they're super good at stripping out. I hate them. All these fan manufacturers, by the way, are fired for not having airflow on their listed on their fans. I'm just putting them in the way I found them. So we're just going to get these started because this one's a bit harder to position because the screws are on the outside and the fan's on the inside. Alright. Hey, Dylan plays guitar? Dylan plays guitar. I've been building PCs, so this is for my wife. I have been building PCs since probably about 1987, 86, somewhere in that range. So I've been doing it a long time. I think the first one I built was probably a 286. So yeah, it's been a long time. There we go. I don't usually build PCs on stream. I mean, it's just something I thought I'd do tonight because we're building one for Tigereyez. But yeah, I've been building them for forever. Alright, so what we've got now is we took the case, we pulled off the front, we replaced those two fans with the lighted fans that Tigereyez wanted. This one's the Aura Sync fan, so that one will be on the back, so when you look in the case, so this has a clear case, or a clear window. So when you look in here, you'll be able to see this fan, and it will glow along with the motherboard. Alright, so let's put this case aside now. We're good on this. Tigereyez, I'm going to need that motherboard. Oh, you know what? Let's put the power supply in. No, we'll do the power supply afterwards because I want to... Tigereyez, I'm going to need that motherboard and CPU and the memory. We're going to... Well, at least the motherboard and the CPU. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're gonna do something different here too tonight with this, and I'm gonna actually do the OS install as well. So that's gonna be part of doing this. So I need the square box. Yes, I need that, and then the other rectangle box that's on the other side. So here's the CPU we're gonna be putting in here. It's a 1500X. Nope, the latter one. Yes, it says Prime on it. Nope. So the next part here we're going to do is the CPU install. So there we go. There's the motherboard that we're going to be putting in. This is an Asus X370 Pro. And then also the 1500X. So this is a AMD motherboard and AMD CPU. It does differ. If you've never built a PC before, it does differ between Intel and AMD. So, and whenever you're purchasing a motherboard, make sure that you always go and look at the CPU compatibility list. And something to note as well. If you're building a PC regarding CPU compatibility, a lot of times they will, what's the SLI? We don't need that. A lot of times they will put on there that it's compatible, but that compatibility is only with a BIOS upgrade. And the trouble with the BIOS upgrade, and I've run into this with motherboards before. Matter of fact, I had bought one and returned it because I literally would have had to upgrade the BIOS, which means I would have installed a lower CPU, upgrade the BIOS. Sorry for all the crunching there. Upgrade the BIOS, and then install the new chip, which just wasn't going to happen. So this is the motherboard. CPU is going to go here with the AMD with the Ryzen chips. This comes off, so we're going to pull those off. This is the CPU socket. Intel and AMD are also different. The AMD uses what's called a ZIF socket, zero insertion force. The other one is also a the Intel ones. It's this one's got a little handle where, you know, zero insertion, but then you put it in there and you put the little handle down, and then that makes the connection. The Intel ones actually use the pressure from the fan in that to push down the to push down the CPU and make the connection. So why Intel does that? There's different competing opinions, but I think it's just a matter of being simpler for manufacturing. Now, I don't mind taking screws out of the motherboard with this, but I will not be putting in the CPU with... I will not be screwing down the... I have a trusty screwdriver for putting that CPU on there. Let's grab the wingman here. We're going to open this box. Alright. Most CPUs that you buy, I mean, unless you're planning on overclocking, there's the CPU itself. Unless you're planning on overclocking your CPU, you can usually go with the one that they include. If you're going to be overclocking your PC, the stock cooler, or as they call it, cooling solution, will not work. So in this case, we're not going to be... So what does overclocking a CPU mean? That's a really good question. So what happens is, you of course already know that, like most, you've seen it on, like, they use it for marketing all the time. So like a computer would be like 3.5 gigahertz, right? Well, in the underlying chip technology, there's an actual frequency of the clock itself. So there's almost like its own, and there's probably a chip on here that regulates that clock, but there's a specific clock and it's a frequency. And so what happens is that for some motherboards like this one, you can adjust the clock frequency. So it's basically like the fast forward button for your CPU. That's pretty much it. And if you're ever building one of these, this one, and they all different, but this one already has the thermal paste on it. They do that for simplicity of putting this together. I'm not overclocking. If I was overclocking, I would use thermal paste and put it on myself. But yeah, so when you're overclocking a CPU, basically you're just like you're speeding up time. And when you do that, there's an offset, and that offset is heat. So these run already really hot. So they're without that cooler, which since we're kind of the basics here, I'll even explain it. So the reason for this and for the fan, this is all aluminum, and it's a heatsink, and a lot of people know they're heat sinks, but other chips do this. It's not just... overclocking can be bad if you don't have a thermal solution for it, but overclocking is just fine. See, now, like my main PC, the one you can overheat it. I've got just, on Tigereyez, I'm putting in just a stock cooler, so there's no overclocking involved. However, in my PC here, which I do have overclocked, and it's been overclocked for a whole year, running just fine because I have a good thermal solution for it. My heat sink's about that big, right? So it's that big, it's about that thick. And it's got heat pipes on it and everything else. So it's designed to take out a lot of the heat. So as long as you can keep the chip cool, then you're okay. That's where you hear about people that put water coolers in and stuff like that. So when you're doing this, there's a little plastic lip here. You just kind of pull the handle out, and then you just lift it up. And then what happens is there's little holes in here, which are probably a bit hard to see, but there's little holes in here where the pins of the CPU go in. And those pins of the CPU, when you lift that handle up, there's no metal to make contact with them. But yeah, you want to make sure that you do it right. Now the other cool thing about these chips, when you put them in, they can really only go in one way, and you should never ever have to force this. There's the pin 1. And you can usually just look at the bottom and match it up. So there's the bottom of these. And see, this has a little arrow on it. And there's a little arrow on the chip itself. And when you line it up, it just drops right in. There's zero pressure. That's why they're called ZIF sockets. And like I said, that means zero insertion force. So literally, I just, dropped it right in there. And if you feel it, you can actually feel it wiggle a little bit. And then when you're done, you just pull down a little handle. That's all there is to it. Now, this could run this way, except it would clearly overheat in about 2 seconds. Alright, but one thing I do need is going to be this manual here. We're going to need a big thick motherboard manual. These are not nearly as daunting as one might think. So, in the directions here, they basically tell you the same thing that I've been telling you, which is I had to pull those pieces off for the thermal solution, and then I've got to put it in there, and then I've got to put the CPU fan on here, which it should be, I think, right over here. The most important thing for anybody who's built one of these before is this page here. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. Which basically shows you where everything is laid out on the motherboard, because there's different pins for everything that you have to hook up. Hey, Potato Hollow, how are you? Potato! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that resub. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Yeah, we're doing this PC build for Tigereyez, and then I'm hoping to play some Shell Shock. Let's see, CPU fan. Yep, that was one right next to the memory, and it's a white one. So that's the most important thing, is just making sure you hook everything else up right on this thing. So when you put this on, like I said, this already has the thermal paste on it. So this actually goes pretty easy. All you have to do, there's little mounting screws that are here, and on these AMDs like this, it's actually super simple. And then I always cross-tighten these. You will need a little pressure on this to get them started, and that's okay. A lot of people fear they're going to break this. These boards are made to take a little bit of a pressure on the CPU itself, and that is so that way you get good thermal contact. Because you for sure. And these screws are actually spring loaded. I'll show you in a second when I'm done here. And don't ever use a power drill on these. I don't even have the balls to use a power drill on the thermal solution. You just make sure you cross tighten them. Make sure they're all done across the board. There we go. CPU is installed. Now, let me see. There we go. So you can see there's like a spring on that screw. So there's actually quite a bit of force going down into here. So, and then this one, it's just a matter of hooking it up here. So there we go. And I mean, I'm so comfortable with how this works. I literally don't even care about picking it up from the fan. That's really not a big deal. It's that solid of a connection. All right. I think the next thing we're going to do here. So the AMD stock cooler is not bad. I don't mind it at all. It's much less hassle than the Intel stock cooler. Yeah. Okay, Tigereyez, I'm going to need the NVMe drive. So one of the things that we're putting in Tigereyez's PC here is there won't be any traditional hard drive. So even like SSD hard drives, you've usually got a SATA cable that's connected to this section over here of the motherboard. So We're actually installing an NVMe drive. Go that way. That one and that box up there. Yep, that little one. So this one is an 860 Evo. This is what's called an NVMe drive. These are terribly difficult to open, apparently. There it is. So this is just basically a hard drive, a solid state hard drive, just like you would any other hard drive. This is not the fastest one they have available. I think when I put mine in mine was a 960, which I don't know if they came out with the new faster ones, but this little itty bitty thing is a 250 gig hard drive, and we're not even going to put it into it doesn't even go into a little bay. I'm 99% sure that's the little M2 slot. I'm just going to double check. Yeah. So this just goes like right on the motherboard here. If I have an i5, is it upgradable to an i7? So, Dylan, that's what I was kind of talking about earlier with verifying with your motherboard manufacturer. It could be. I had a hard time putting the last one of these things in. There we go. So all that does is just slide in there, and then pins down to the motherboard here, and then 250 gigs, and it's a hard drive just like anything else. So kind of cool. The reason why I got this one instead of the 960, first off, it was cost. The 960 was a little bit more, but the 960, and it probably would have worked fine. Usually things are backward compatible, but the 960 was not on their hardware compatibility list. So, and that's okay. This is a 250. Tigereyez is, just getting started with gaming, and a lot of gaming PCs come with a smaller, like boot SSD, and then they've got, am I going to download some RAM? Yeah, I'm going to download some RAM later. Oh, that's funny. I'm guessing that's Jedi Girl. Alright, so the one thing we do need to do is open up the bag here that they came with us and a bunch of screws. Tigereyez, if you could grab me one of those little dishes, the little clear bowls. I can put all these screws in here because I got to dig for the appropriate NVMe screw. But yeah, so that NVMe drive is on their compatibility list, so that was the other reason why that one was the choice versus a different one. Whoops, I don't want to. Oh, look, we get a little Ryzen 5 stickers you can put on the outside. There we go. So the CPU in here is a Ryzen 5 1500X. That's what we put in there. It was the balance between the cost of what I was going to be willing to pay and everything else. I could have gone more powerful, certainly, but I wanted to include things like the NVMe drive into here. Do you have just the clear ones? The clear ones, like in the corner cabinet, the smaller ones. Just the plain clear ones, not with the design. It's harder to see the. Look at these little screws. No, not. So yeah, I went with the 1500X. Should be plenty of power for her to game with. 507. So it's. I think. So that's a good question because I've put together several builds. All right, so let me tell you about this other build, which was my PC here. So what I did is I went with the higher end motherboard, but then I only went with an i5 CPU. Instead, if I want to upgrade the CPU later, I can always put an i7 in it. The key is really the motherboard, and that's what's that? So that's one of the big things is the motherboard. And if you look at the motherboard and you look at the specs on the motherboard, and it has the ability to upgrade, then absolutely get. You know, you're obviously going to buy something again, right? So if you spend, and this is another good build. I mean, this is another example of that. We put a 1500 in here, but I think the motherboard can take up to the Ryzen 7. So I could upgrade the CPU in a year. Now, granted, I got to buy the CPU again, but this one was only, I think, like $120 or something along those lines. I really got to find this screw here. Hang on. I do not. Maybe one of these machine screws. But you can certainly put in a lesser build and then later on upgrade it to a better build. But it's all going to depend. It's going to depend on what you get as far as your CPU. I mean, as far as your motherboard, and then as far as your memory, because that's going to be the other thing that you're going to get bottleneck on. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on this screw here. And I don't... Oh, maybe? Nope. Oop, where'd the screw go? Oh, there it is. I had a little... I don't think they gave me the screw. Last time they... Is that the NVM screw? I'm checking what they gave me with the motherboard here. That was the case screws, I think. Oh, is that a nice one of those nice headers? Oh, it sure is. I think this might be the NVMe screw. The last one I bought was black. But yeah, you certainly can go ahead and get a cheaper one. Yeah, this is it. That teeny tiny screw. This thing is so tiny. Yep, that was it. Yep. So that's in there. So that's not going anywhere. That's the memory stick, or the NVMe drive. So we're all set there. I think I got enough clearance. I think I'll put the memory in next. Tiger, you want to hand me the RAM over there? That's the other small box. But yeah, I mean, it's this is a good little build. And so this one I can upgrade to the Ryzen 7. The memory, I think it's the 3000 megahertz, small one there. And that's it. Yep. You're running out of parts. It's almost together.
Yeah, then tomorrow?
Tomorrow you get a desk.
You get to put my
Enterprise, want to beam up.
No. You get to put that together. So this is 3000 megahertz. Again, that kind of goes with the clock speed that you get for your particular PC. It's gonna also vary by what the memory that your PC supports. Dylan Plays Guitar, thank you so much for that subscription. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're having a good time. Hopefully we'll see you around for some of our game nights too. We do game nights, and we do, as a variety streamer, I try to do everything. And like I said, today's a PC build, so I try to do something super awesome all the time. But thank you so much for that subscription. I really appreciate the support for the channel. Alright, so these are DDR4 memories, and turn this around here so I get a better look at it. These should just fit right in here, and we're going to check the handy dandy just to make sure that we put them in the right slots. Yeah, so the A slots are here. So again, Dylan, this is another good example of where you can look at expanding later on. So if you build a basic gaming PC, now this one is starting out with 16 gigs of RAM. Now I can go ahead and upgrade that at a later date to 32. Get in the hole. There we go. I am putting that in the right way, am I not? Yeah. I just gotta get it lined up. There we go. These only fit in one way. These require a little bit more force than your, like a CPU. You got to actually push these into the socket here. And there's a little notch that's in this motherboard or in the memory slot. You may or may not be able to see that, but then there's an equal slot on the RAM chip. So this has, when we're done here, we'll have 16 gigs of RAM. There we go. And that 16 gigs of RAM will be upgradable. I could put in 2 more of the 8s, and then this would be 32 gigs of RAM in the system. So you can add more RAM as you need, and it's totally expandable. So, so there we go. We got the hard drive that's on here. So I'll make sure that drive looks right there. Yeah. Those NVMEs always scare me because they look so dinky. I'm always afraid it's like one of those are going to break. So you've got the whole memory in here. CPU's now installed. The last thing we'll put in here is going to be the video card, but we'll do that after we install this in the case. And then after that, we've got to hook up all the wires to it. So there's some chassis fans here. I think that's another chassis fan over here. And then over here, so to kind of tell you some of the stuff on the motherboard, I didn't explain it very well. Your power is going to go here. These are going to be your SATA ports if you're using a traditional SATA hard drive. And then over here, these are all the headers. And those plug into the case, so that way you've got your front USB ports and everything else. Oh, did we get a new follow?
I followed Dylan.
Oh! Alright, so we're going to just put this over to the left here a second. Sitting on top of my keyboard. I just hope it doesn't go anywhere. Alright, so let's clean this up a little bit here. Need a little more room. Just a little bit more. Alright, so we got the NVMe drive in there. That's good to go. What's this other screw for? Oh, it's like an extension for it. Oh, that's interesting. Wait a minute. Was I supposed to put a standoff in here? Oh, I was. I'm glad I saw that. You know, I think my other motherboard came with the standoff on it. You know, I don't think it makes a difference. We can check the specs here. Hang on, I want to put the standoff in before I forget it. I wondered why that looked like that bent down a little bit. I mean, it bent fine, but... My motherboard, when I put the NVMe in mine, it must have came with the standoff on it. I think it probably would have been fine either way. I mean, it's not like it's going to move around in there. Actually, I'm positive my other one came with that standoff installed. This is a serious pain in the ass. Yeah, we'll double check. I always put them in the... Maybe... You know what? I didn't read the manual on it. But yeah, sometimes you do have to put them in separate channels. Yep, hang on. Let's close this. Get better grip on the standoff. There we go. I just couldn't get the grip on that standoff. And what a standoff is, they have my motherboards as well. Yeah, that's what that was for. What they're for is just rising things up. So it's interesting, and that's one of the reasons why these motherboards are so different. It's like every time you do this, it's always like a new adventure. But the process is pretty much the same. Oh, damn it. The screw is so small. Why do you have to be so small? There we go. Alright, now we got it. Alright, back to the case. Oh, channel memory. Double check. Just double check, see how they want it installed. Because it says A1 and A2, so that's usually you pair it with the letters. You don't have to pair it with separate. Let's see. 6. 1-4. Oh, there's a paper. Nope, you're right. In 1 and A and 1 and B. See? Thank you, Potato. This is not foil. It's actually static. Yeah, mine split too. My Intel motherboard isn't like that, though. Hey, Mechius. Yep. Come on. That's really in there. There we go. Man, these are like the stiffest DIMM slots ever. There we go. Alright. It's in. It's in! Yeah, so this is an anti-static bag. It's really just designed. And I think more than anything else, I'm using this to... I'm so used to... I put the static bag here basically to protect the desk. But it's also good because it does protect it from some static electricity. Alright, so let's get this box out of here. Alright, let me get a little bit better position on this. I want to make sure you guys can see as well, or as best I can do this. Alright, we're going to need the back plate. So all cases come with a big hole in here, and that's where this back plate comes into play. This is a different one. This back plate's interesting. It's padded. I've never seen one padded. Usually they're just pieces of metal. I did. I just fisted my case there, Mechius. Nice. So this back plate just pushes in, and then that back plate is what seals your case up from... There we go. Seals your case up from dust in that. This is really cool. I've never seen one with padded foam on it. I must have upgraded to the Primo motherboard for Tigereyez. all this crap. The front header. So we've got to also put the power supply in this. But I didn't put the power supply in first. I like putting that in second, just because it gives me more room to work in here. So that way I don't, when I'm doing a build, makes it a little bit easier to get at things. See, if the power supply was right here, I'd be like really hard pressed to slide this in as easily. Trying to see if I've got to move I've got to standoff, need one at the corner. Yep, I got to add 3 standoffs here. Ah, Meckius, you're so funny. I was just doing that, dude. That's exactly what I was doing. Damn it. Now I gotta turn the case over and get that standoff out of there. Man, that must go there. It is. It's just an illusion. So we're gonna put the standoff in here. There we go. There we go. See, I think this is a magnetic screwdriver, but that standoff is brass, so I'm not getting it out of there with that. Come out of there. Yeah, you always have to check the standoff. So when you're putting this together, you always make sure that the holes are these standoffs, and these are, for anybody that's new to this, these little gold things are called standoffs. Basically, you screw them in, and they make it so that way your computer isn't touching the actual metal here, which would cause a short circuit of the entire thing. Now, honestly, I always thought it was hilarious that there's so much metal in this case and it doesn't short out. And I'm always terrified because I've been working with electronics since I was a teenager in high school. And every time I put one of these in, I'm like, it is just so wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a really cool trick for making sure that you've got them all and lined up is you hold this up to light, and you can actually see the holes in it. So I've got 3 at the top, 3 in the middle, and 3 here on the bottom. And they should now all be lined up. And if you know that you have the same number inside the case, you will also know that you've got them all and they're all screwed in. So there we go. So that's all lined up. Nice. And it was very nice of them to supply black screws, because, you know, this isn't hard enough to see. Now, the black screws are a nice touch, if I didn't want to see anything. Oh, and this isn't a magnetic screwdriver, no wonder. Unfortunately, this one's a bit by feel. And all you got to do is get it started, and then trusty screwdriver will take care of the rest. There we go. Alright, so the rest are really easy. I mean, at least from that was probably the hardest one. And that was the one for the back plate here. And that one's always, to me, that's always the toughest one, because it does have to push up against the back plate when you're putting them together. Now, there are different screws that they give you when you purchase a case. And the ones that you should be using for putting the motherboard in are the ones that have like a little flat top ring to them. Those flat top ring ones make contact generally with the grounding. There's little, if you look at these screws, the screws have a, and I'll show you one. I think you guys can maybe see one here. Hang on. Let me see. I don't know if you can see it, but like there's a screw hole right here. Point to it from my other hand. The screw hole right here, and there's a circle. And there's another one like right here. And you'll see there's like, where the screw hole is, there's like a little bunch of metallic dots. And what those are designed to do is ground your PC along, or your motherboard along with the case. So that way you've got a grounded case, which is a good thing to have. Alright, so we've got that one to do. Look at this. Let's see, we're an hour and 12 minutes of the stream, and then we had 10 minutes. So in about an hour, we've pretty much got most of the build done here. We're not totally done, but we're mostly done. We've got the motherboard in, the memory in, cooking along here. So Mekius, I got the 1500X, the Ryzen 5. Should be enough for Tigereyez to play some good games. I don't think she's going to be playing anything too intense right away. The one thing I did, the one reason I went with the 1500 was to get her the 8 threads, because she does do a lot of photography stuff. So I wanted to go ahead and get her one that had the more threads. Matter of fact, I may be looking to upgrade my CPU in the next year or so as I keep doing more and more of the Adobe After Effects. It's just killing me. Of course, I haven't tried it with the new GPU. It supposedly does take advantage of GPU hardware, so it may do just fine. I just haven't. What are threads? Good question. So I guess the long story short is your CPU has cores in it. And Pint Size Fun, how are you? Oh my gosh, let's get a shout out for Pint Size Fun. So CPU has what's called cores in it, and each one of those cores is actually one CPU. Back in the day, you only had one CPU. This one might be a bit difficult to get to. You only had one CPU. So in order to... I am doing great, Pint. Hopefully your doctor's visit went well today. So they used to have just one single CPU, and then in order to make them faster, they started putting what's called cores. So it's basically more than one CPU in there. Well, originally, I think, and Mekius may be able to tell me whether or not, but Intel originally came out with what they called hyper-threading technology, which basically allowed the core to do twice the work. So it would actually split itself, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it basically allowed it to do 2 threads worth of work, which means that it would do 2 things on that same core. So in order to make that happen, those threads basically use the unused cycles of that particular core. So that's how that works. So if you have more threads, the threads basically allow you to get more work done on your computer. Now my gaming build is an i5, and that only has 4 cores and is not hyper-threaded. The i7 would allow me to get the hyper-threading. Yeah, it's effectively the same thing. I mean, you know, without getting like into a lot of technical information, that kind of covers it. How are you tonight, Pint? I am just having a good time here putting this PC together for Tigereyez. Wait a minute, what? What did I miss? Alright, there's the last one in the corner. Sorry, I gotta use a flashlight on this one. It's actually a little dark to see. I see it though. Yeah, nothing gets past Tigereyez. She is like, her attention to some detail is baffling to me. What the hell? Oh, shit. Oh, I got it. This hole's like... I know all the screws are in the right way, including this one, but this does not align very well with this last one. There we go. We got it. We got it. No problem. Gandalf on the sax. New name. Always be Gandalf. Alright, so there we go. Motherboard is installed. So let's... I can turn off this flashlight. Well, I may need it again, so... Let's drop that right there. Good spot for it. Alright, so now the not so fun part of this. We gotta get all these connectors hooked up. And we have a ton. So this is probably the most boring part of the entire job here. At least for me. I hate doing this. Every motherboard's different, and everyone's got the spots for all their different connectors. So let's get the case fans out of the way, and then we're gonna have to figure out the Aura connection here too. CPU optional. All right. Alright, this one is not the one we're going to hook up. Oh, these are short. So these are Tigereyez. Oh, wow, Tigereyez, we got a problem. We got a problem, Houston. We have another chassis fan on the front here. They do. Problem solved. So we are installing the chassis fan here. There we go. So these are the two fans. These two we replaced earlier. actually, you know, it's not all that difficult. It sounds really, really tough, and it looks like this would be like very hard to do. It's really not. It's really, really super simple. And once you build one, you're like, it's super easy to do. And I totally agree with Dylan. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. All right, so this is the Aura one. We're going to do this one last. So we got the 2 chassis fans in the front hooked up to the motherboard. We're good to go. We have the CPU fan over here. We don't have an additional CPU fan. We have no water pumps. Let's work on getting these USB headers. Maybe they just marked them and I'm in good shape.
Cam says your cable looks a bit short.
You know what? Tigereyes think my cable is just fine. All these books, 2 books, more just reference manuals. I mean, it's not like, just want to make sure I'm not putting the wrong thing in the wrong thing. And they didn't even care in here. And they didn't mark it on there, did they? Oh, USB 3. Perfect. Gonna line up the notch. This is another reason why this is so much easier to do before you put the power supply in. Because trying to get here with a power supply right here is impossible. Alright, so those are out of the way. Let's see what we got on these. We have HD audio and USB. Are you talking about this one, Becky? Is? Hey, this is a good, is this a Craftsman? I think it is. It's a good Craftsman screwdriver. Guaranteed for life, 1970s. You come over and clean up that wiring for me? Hey, Meckius, you're more than welcome to hobble your ass over here and help out. My dad had back in the day. I do have a couple of years on you, buddy. I do have a couple of years. Dylan's got a question. Does downloading games on my hard drive make a significant difference in operating speed as opposed to downloading an SSD? It depends on the game. So the short answer is yes, it will definitely affect performance. Your any sort of loading that the game has to do, if it's doing it off a hard drive, confirmed on Stream Mecha's old. Anything that has to load in off a hard drive is going to be slower than if it's off an SSD or an NVMe drive. Those are going to be your fastest routes, and the NVMe is really the fastest. I mean, the fastest you're going to get, at least in most consumer motherboards. And quit picking on my cabling. I said I would. I'll clean this up. Just hang on. Mechy is giving me a hard time. Actually, this cabling went much better than I thought it was going to go. Hey, I used a power drill. My power drill is right here, by the way, which is a Black & Decker. And that power drill I did use for the, I used it on the outside case. Oh, I could have got you, I could install another fan for you, Tigereyez. Got room here. I'm not buying another rainbow one. I bought you so many rainbow drives now, it's not even funny. Alright, what do we got left here? Oh, the front panel header. Alright, where is the super duper. I love when they include these. I love these front panel header connectors. Ugh. Power LED. Alright, so the HDD LED. Got that.
You're now listening to A-Rod Music.
These front panel connector attachments are super easy for grounded reset. I always love it when a switch has the polarity on it. The switch, by the way, really doesn't have polarity unless it's got other parts in it. Alright. Where's this bad boy going? Then, except for the Aura stuff, we're done. Oh, you never see one of these Mechas? Oh, these are the bomb, dude. These are totally the bomb. Some of the motherboards now are including them, where you just go ahead and you do all this, and you don't have to, like, find the freaking pin. I hate playing that game. Page 17. I just want to make sure I'm going to plug this into the right spot. There we go. Yeah, that's the TPM Pro connector. Which one is that? A COM port. Geez, who uses those anymore? And next to the COM port's a TPM. Alright, there is a side with 2 missing. Hey, Chief. Oh, nope, that's wrong. It's a panel connector down here. There we go. Thank goodness they put these pins on here. There we go. They do try to really make this so you don't fuck it up. They really, really do. Alright, so there we go. Then all we have to do is figure out the Aura connector. And we've got some zip ties, which we'll use for this in a minute. Get that out of the way. So the last part we have here is this fan. This is a special fan. This is motherboard. The Asus motherboards have that Aura technology, and you might be able to see it eventually. On the edge over here, they've got like an LED strip, and it glows, and it's really cool as hell. I just have to figure out where the Aura connector is. Unless this doesn't have an external Aura connector, which is going to kind of suck. Because my other motherboard has one. Oh, there it is. RGB header. There we go. And it is in the middle here somewhere. Two, right there. There it is. GRB. There we go. Alright, so there her fan is now hooked up. Yep, yeah, it's right here. It was this white one. I just had to figure out where it was. Alright, so let's... I know they're around here somewhere.
Insane! They are insane!
Tigereyez, thank you for those bits. Oh, look at this. They give me 4 zip ties. Go, guys. Like, if I even get zip ties. Alright. And then we're going to put your... We're going to put your... memory card and, or I'm sorry, the memory card. I'm thinking your video card and your power supply in, and then you'll have a working PC after I install your operating system. Where are you, Mr. Wingman? There you are. So we're just tying up some cables here, and then we're going to put the first boot's always scariest. You know, I don't get too scared. Oh, that have done this since the 80s?
They are
Dude,
insane.
you know, so, okay, I'll get a little nostalgic here. It's kind of funny. So, I started working on a Commodore 64, and if you've never used one or seen one, Google it, because it's pretty crazy. So I've gone ahead, and that was my like first home computer I used all by myself. And back in the day, you really had to learn how to use a computer. No way, dude. It's not going to start on fire. It's either going to work or it's not. It's that simple. I'm not going to get bent out of shape. It either works or it doesn't. Just want to get this cable in the right spot before I zip tie these together. But so you really had to know how to use computers, because all it said when you turned it on was ready. I mean, that was it. You had to tell it everything. Literally everything. You had to tell it to load something off the disk. You had to tell it to, I mean, just do everything. I mean, you didn't really get the advantage of, like today with Windows, it does, comparatively speaking, it does everything, right? Back then, it's like if I wanted to like copy a file, I had to literally load a program to copy files from one diskette to another. I know that sounds insane, but it was true. So, over the years, you just start working on this stuff, and then just time and time again, new technology comes out. But essentially, it's the same thing. You get your memory, you got your CPU, and you got your motherboard, and it essentially has not changed. Essentially has not changed. All right, Tigereyez, let's put the memory card in, and then, or actually, oh, excuse me. Let's do the power supply, and then we'll do the memory card. I do not expect anything to catch fire. Big box. Yep. Yep, and you almost knocked your video card onto the floor. Did you? Yeah, it's interesting how it's all changed. So to put some perspective on things. Oh, 10 more bits. Well, thank you for those 10 more bits. To put it in perspective, Dylan, to put it into perspective, I'm sure you've seen a 3.5-inch floppy, and when you look at like a 3.5-inch floppy, that was like, for me, I was able to store several games on those, and I was able to do all kinds of stuff with like one 3.5-inch floppy. And for a while, literally, I would have, you know, boxes of just those floppy disks. And it's interesting how just, you know, technology has changed. Your cell phone, and my guess is I don't think anybody has really flip phones too much anymore, so I just presume everybody has a smartphone. Your smartphone is probably a million times, at least 1 million times more powerful than my first computer was. 5.25? Oh yeah. So 5.25-inch floppies, and I wish I had one, but 5.25-inch floppies, those were great. And on the Commodore 64, it only used one side of it. We used to buy a little, like, it was like a little puncher, and you would put it on the side of the floppy disk, and you'd press down on it, it would punch a hole in it, and then you could flip over the disk and save money. Those were the days. Yeah, my Commodore 64 had those floppy disks. Yeah, no doubt. Most modern smartphones are better than... Whoa! Ah! Stuff flying everywhere. It's out of control. It's pandemonium.
You see, they are insane.
Oh, Dylan, thank you so much for those bits. Well, I should do more of these PC build streams. This has been, not only has this been fun, but it's been just an awesome interactive time with you guys. I've really enjoyed this. But yeah, it's kind of cool getting all nostalgic about this stuff, because, man, some of this stuff is just so old. And, you know, I have a Commodore 64 downstairs. It's not my original one, but I have one downstairs. Oh, you know what? I do have a 5.25-inch floppy. Oh my gosh. Tigereyez, would you go get one? I do have a 5.25-inch floppy. I totally forgot about that. It's cool that you've got that interest, Dylan, because, you know, so many people don't. Sorry, I've got this one. Just give me a second, and then you can have it back. I don't know. Hang on, a little busy. Hang on. You know what a 5.25 looks like, right? No, I just want the disc. Yeah, they're in a box. They're in a box by the thing, or they're like near the center, but I think they're near the center of the basement by the wall. Like, you'll see a box and it's got the little floppy disks on it. Now, take a flashlight. You can't miss them. They're in a box.
Are you talking about like a...
Yes, the 5.25 ones. Yes. Yeah. Where's the... Here. I think I couldn't get the last two in without it. Yeah. Tigereyez is going to go in a box by the thing. Yeah, no doubt. Tigereyez is going to look and see if she can find a 5.25. Proof I have one still at the house. So, alright, Mekius, I got one for you. So my Commodore 64, I got one of these before they're all like oof tapes. Yeah, I don't anymore. I had a VIC-20 tape drive. I've got a Coco Model 2 downstairs, and that has got a tape drive with it. The old Tandy Radio Shack ones. That's some seriously old stuff. Couldn't afford a disk drive. Yeah, man, tapes. So I had a friend of mine who had an Atari 800. Again, I think you could Google most of this stuff. It's the only way to know what one of them are if you're not familiar with them. An Atari 800, and it was really a great little gaming system. We used to play games on it all the time, and do some like really cool stuff on it. I really liked the Atari. It was a cool system for its day. And we had that. He had that Atari 800, but he had a tape drive, and there were a couple of games. What was it? Load Runner. Load Runner was one of the games, and that thing he had to load off a tape. But we played that. Oh man, we played the shit out of that machine. There we go. Sorry, I just don't like stuff draping on the motherboard here. ABC Turbo? What is ABC Turbo? I didn't heard of that one. Alright, we need to get some power cables installed here. No easy way to do this, but just getting hands dirty here. I sent Tigereyez for a floppy disk, and now I can't see shit in this case. $150 for an Atari 800. Yeah, I've got an Atari 800 drive downstairs, but I no longer have the system. And if it works, man, honestly, it has been so long since I used one. She found one.
You have an Atari 810.
Yeah, that's the floppy drive. Alright, so here we go. And so this little notch here was the write protect notch. So if it was covered, your disk was write protected. We used to punch holes in this other side over here. Was this from the box with the Atari in it?
No.
So yeah, so check out that ancient stuff, huh? This was what I used to play games on. So, everybody loads up like all these cool games on their PC, myself included, and I used to have to load games off this shit. Oh, can I? Oh, you did give me the flashlight. Oh, so much better. Thank you, Tigereyez. Yeah, that's a serious vintage. That's like crazy vintage, right? I mean, that's to the point where you're like, oh, I can't even fathom how many hours of time I wasted doing some of the most mundane tasks that we do today. I'm like, this connector better be here somewhere. We're going to have a serious problem. Oh no, so Mechius, I didn't buy double set density discs. All the single densities work just fine. What are we talking about? It's just keep them cleaner. Yeah, you know what's really funny, Dylan, and it's no disrespect to anyone. It really isn't, but it comes off this way. I literally have forgotten more about computers than some people even know. I'm glad you're finding this interesting, Missy. Yeah, when I run across somebody who I don't know why I keep trying to put these together. They will just pop in individually. I'll save myself the headache. Come on, get in there. There we go. But yeah, it's interesting. I have gotten to see it progress. And you know what's so cool is it's like I feel like it's finally gotten to where, you know, I wanted it to be when I was a kid. I mean, I imagine a lot of kids today like think of like virtual reality and all kinds of like really cool stuff. And you know what? Augmented reality is some of the coolest stuff ever. And I personally cannot wait until augmented reality is like mainstream. But I imagine kids today think about that kind of stuff. And when I was a kid, I was just like, you know, one day they'll have computers, they'll be super fast, blah, blah, you know, just smack talk as a kid, you know. And today it's a reality. I mean, it's Star Trek today, you know. That's what's so cool. It's Star Trek today. And I grew up watching Star Trek The Next Generation. I grew up actually watching the original Star Trek. My dad got me into that when I was a pretty young kid. And I thought that was like the future. And wow, the future is like way cooler. Basic programs? Yeah, dude, you haven't lived till you wrote 6502 assembler, man. Actually, you probably have written 6502 assembler. If there's one person in this chat that I think has probably written assembler code, it's you. But those were the days. Oh, man. Alright, Tigereyez, you are almost ready here. Look at all these cables I don't even use. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Gotta clean this up. You don't even use these. Obsolete connectors. There's no hard drives in here. The only chance you would use one is if you got a serious upgrade to your video card. I'm actually like one cable tie short, but I think we'll make do. Explain what coding is. It's basically, in a nutshell, it's just giving instructions to the computer. Giving instructions to the computer and, you know, basically telling it what it needs to do. Writing the programs itself. That's how convenient for them to give me that extra hole there for all those cables. Alright, Tigereyez video card time. Run it back up under the case. Under the... It looks good. That video card's not that big, dude. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
I just found
What?
a mouse pad that lights up 9 different colors in rainbow.
9 different colors in rainbow.
Whoa.
So we're gonna pull these 2 slats out.
Can I use more colors?
This one? Are you talking about this one here?
Me?
I'm talking about you. This power cable, this extra one? Yeah, I probably... Oh, I see what you're saying. I see, run it that way. There we go. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks for that, Meckius. Yeah, she does. Purple is her favorite color. Sure. Yep. I honestly don't need to pull this other one out, but I'm going to. This is an awful lot of air to push through here. Good. Yeah, that was a good call. Then we get to see if it powers up, which I think it should. Can you push it? Sure, you want to push the button? That way if it breaks, I can blame someone else. I'm all about blaming someone else if it doesn't work. The only thing I don't like about this case is this stupid back panel they've got attached to it. You gotta take off this... You gotta like pull down this back panel to get the video card in. Don't blow up anything? Well, hopefully you're back soon, because I'm literally gonna plug the HDMI power cable in and give it a shot here in a second. As soon as I find 2 screws. You got a couple minutes here. Hang on. My 1970 screwdriver. Meckius, that was funny as hell.
You must have got that right when you were born.
Shut up! I did not. Gosh, it's like this screwdriver isn't even that old.
Nice. We'll put that in your scrapbook. Mech's first screwdriver.
Mech's first screwdriver in my scrapbook. That would be funny.
At 1 year old.
So okay, so here's a good one. And I don't know, Meckius, if you were this way, or if you're still listening, but I tell you, as a kid, my parents hated buying me cool toys for Christmas. And why they hated buying me cool toys for Christmas, I apparently have some gene to do this. This must be a gene that I have. I went ahead, and my parents would like buy some of the coolest toys because I wanted all the coolest technology toys. And they have this one where it was like the Knight Rider car, and you could like flip up the hood or something and press in a bunch of buttons and program it to like drive straight, then turn left, then turn right, and you program it to do like a little thing, right? So I would play with a toy like that for like 6 months tops, and then I would take it apart, completely take it apart. And then I never play with it again. I had to know how it works. I literally would take it apart, and my parents hated. What are you doing? Why are you taking it apart? I'm like, because I wanted to see how it worked.
Nice fail.
The garbage can's too far away. I'll pick them all up when we get there.
Double big.
All right, we have a PC. We are built. Wow, we're good. I gotta get stuff hooked up here. Hold the horses, hey.
Oh, don't knock this over. My computer.
Not gonna break your computer. Alright, switches off. Let's get that.
Man, that's a thick cable.
Yeah, it's just because it wasn't long enough.
No, I need to put a power supply.
Alright. That's what I said. It was just the one I had. It's not the one you'll use. Alright, and then we've got our HDMI cable. Now, if I play my cards right, which I think I did. Oops. I'm going to put this in your... I need you to get the keyboard and mouse. I need that before I do anything. Honestly, I can't imagine soldering at all in a PC. Yeah, like Meckius, never. I mean, unless you're literally building the PC, and at that point, you're way past this. Yeah, there's no soldering involved. Everything we did here today was done with a Phillips screwdriver. That's it. Matter of fact, I only needed the small Phillips screwdriver for the NVMe card. There's also a little USB dongle on top of your... Alright, so we're gonna put this over here. Oh jeez. Man, do I have a mess over here I gotta clean up tomorrow. Come on, get in there. Alright, now short of smoking, we should be good. Now, hang on here. Let me press.
Oh,
Alright.
what did you just do?
Alright, now the screen's black, but we should be good because it's hooked to her PC now. What the heck? I hate when that happens. Nothing totally fixable, just annoying us. I'll get out.
Oh, it was too small.
Oh, sometimes I miss.
You want me to do it? I can do it. My hands are... I don't know if it's on the room, but I can do it.
It's good, I got it. Oh.
What are you doing?
Ooh. Oh, I lost the chat. Actually, I didn't lose it. I just moved it. The cables usually come with motherboard. You're usually good to go. The only thing I ordered separate was really the fans, and those did not need to be replaced. That was just a preference of Tigereyez. Alright.
Why did you just pull that off?
Because, don't worry about it. See that big button right there?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Let's, Alright, there we go. So we've got...
I'm supposed to turn it on.
Hang on. Hang on a second here. Hang on. I didn't turn it on.
Oh.
All I did was give it some power here.
Fun.
I don't know if you guys can see. Hang on, I want to move it so you can see. So there's the Aura Sync. I haven't turned this on yet. All I do is apply the power supply power to it. So this is just the power supply's on. So, but the Aura, if you guys can see it, the motherboard's actually glowing those colors. So we should be able to turn it on now and see if everything works. So go ahead, Tigereyez, press the button.
Will we be able to see this too?
Press the button. Oh wow, she's got rainbows everywhere here.
We have to turn it, you can't see it.
Look at that. Got this whole PC glowing rainbows.
You can't see it though. You have to turn it.
I did.
No, you have to turn it. I'm fine. Flip it. You can't see it.
I do not have a post here. I think... Oh, there it goes. It posted.
Why did it go black?
I forgot to connect her... F1. So, just waiting for the screen to come up here. Wow, this thing's really rainbowy.
Yeah.
Alright, so there we go. This is actually kind of cool that we can do this on stream. This is the benefit of having a separate... I can actually smell the heat in this computer as it's like burning in. But the fan's running real low, so yeah, no, everything thermally is good.
How come you can't see it?
Can I have that drive there, please? How come I can't see the PC? Because I'm booting your PC, that's why. That black thing. Yep. Thank you. Alright. I had to plug in her in the DVD drive. Oops. Did that really just boot that whole computer? Really? That's funny.
stuff?
No, we're good. I might have to reset this PC. No, that's fine. It's just for whatever reason. Oh, there it goes. It came back. Seriously? If I put the USB drive in, it stops? That's hilarious. All right, we'll leave it out. I don't need it right this second anyhow. All right, so this is the BIOS screen, the Asus BIOS that, control that mouse a little better there. So we're going to go in here and we'll hit the advanced mode. Let's see, boot, we want to turn off boot configuration, come on, there we go. Boot logo display disabled. 8 seconds is good. Setup mode, advanced. Usually they kind of configure themselves for the most part. I'm not going to go through here and tweak BIOS settings on here. We're not overclocking anything to get started with. But I wanted to turn off the save changes and reset. Then we're going to plug in the drive here. As soon as this thing comes up. Let me see. Do you have to? Let's see. It looks nice. It's cool. So that's the BIOS. So after you build a motherboard like this, and you put it all together, you're going to have to go ahead and go into the BIOS and configure everything. That's really the just, you got to go in there, make sure that the clock looks right, stuff like that. Most of the time they're self-configuring. But there is sometimes just a little bit of work that needs to be done. Tigereyez, can you hand me that cover for your case? I'm going to put your keyboard on top of it here. And we should just boot off this. There we go. So now we're going to boot up Windows here and get that installed. That's going to be our next step here. So 2 hours for the complete build, that's really not that bad. I mean, I know what I'm doing, of course, so 2 hours wasn't long.
Then can you show the rainbow front?
I did. I moved the camera so they could see the rainbow.
No, it's on the outside.
Oh, not until we're done. There's 2 little black thumb screws there, I think.
No. I don't see anything over here.
Oh, here they are. I just want to put these thumb screws in. No, see? There should be another one like this. You see it there? So we're booting up Windows now.
No.
So the C64 came pre-built, and you didn't have to build that one at all. Please stop banging this around. It's trying to boot Windows.
No, I don't know what you did with it, Dawn.
We'll find it. It's not the end of the world. I got one of them on. It's all good. Alright, so now we got the keyboard here, and we got the mouse. We're just waiting for Windows to load up.
And that lights up, too.
Just waiting for Windows.
That lights up, too. Oh, I found it back here.
Yeah, the Commodore 64...
Here we go.
It's not Windows. It's oh well, I mean it is Windows. It's not. It's just I just put the disk in. I haven't got it installed yet. So I don't have Windows. It's on a DVD drive. So we're gonna do the install right here of Windows. So what I did is I have because this I believe it or not, I just didn't have yeah, this is the installer. I did not have a big enough flash drive to put Windows on, so I had it on a DVD. So we're just going to be installing it off the DVD. It'll take a little bit longer, but it's actually a pretty quick process. So, yes, disc as in DVD. It is not bootlegged. It is an OEM version. And I am the OEM. I manufactured this PC. I think it's totally legit. Alright, hang on a second here. I wanna switch screens while I get this key entered here. Not that I don't love you all, but I don't need to share my Windows key on the screen. All right, so hang on a second here. Well, that's great, Becky. Is you gonna run those over like right now? Oh crap! I need my keyboard. That's totally in a spot I can't get. Tigereyez needs some help. Really, really? I can't reach both. I'm gonna drop your PC if I go any further.
No, you'd be buying me a new one.
That's why I said I just need you to grab my keyboard. It's right there. I just can't grab it and hold your keyboard. Right there. See? Isn't it a little cubby? There we go. You got it.
That's heavy. Jeez.
So is yours. Where's the same?
It's stuck under
Let
there.
go. Let go.
It's
All good.
stuck under there.
All good. Alright, hang on a second here and I'll have the key entered. I'll be good to go.
So we can reduce bags instead.
There we go. Alright, now we're good to go.
No one wants to know what kind of keyboard.
So this is the keyboard. Yeah, I gotta switch back to the chat here. So this keyboard is Sades, S-A-D-E-S. It's actually really nice. I like it because it's a heavy duty. What's those white spots on the keyboard? Are you talking about? Oh, on this one back. I think it's on here. I think that's just you see the key cap portion of the. Oh, I get it. I get it. Those white spots. Yeah, you're funny. What? Wait. Oh, you stupid thing. I guess I needed to, like, select the other option. Oh, my God. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Get on here. Let's try this one more time. I'm like, I know I used this installation media before. There we go. Now I gotta type it all back in again. I do build PCs for myself. I'm building it for my wife, actually. There we go. I just had to go to custom. There we go. Alright, so we've got the install running here. Yeah, I just clicked the first option. That was dumb for me to do, but yeah, there we go. It's installing now. How are you, Breadfish? Are you having a good night? Yeah, so we're just wrapping up this install, getting Windows installed here, and then we'll turn this over to Tigereyez and we can play some Shell Shock tonight or whatever else we want to do tonight. Yep, custom install was the way to go, Mechius. So we have a little bit of time to kill. Let's see if I have any other old PC nostalgia stories here. Okay, I got one for you. Building PCs for people. I'll build anybody a PC. They want to send me the parts. You know, I'll build it and ship it back to them. I mean, shoot, I'll build it on stream. I just built Tigereyez on stream. This is actually kind of fun. So, okay, so my first job out of high school, my first like real legitimate like industry job out of high school was working at a company called Borg Warner, and they were responsible for aftermarket auto parts. And what I used to do there, my first job was more of an operations job. So like today it would be the equivalent of like sysadmin group. And we had there what are called DASD drives. And if you've never seen or heard of them, they were literally like the very first types of like hard disks, if you will, or hard media storage, like a traditional hard disk. And the platters on them were about that big. So if you could think of a round, if you ever see the inside of a hard drive, if you think of one about that big, and then a stack of them about like that tall, that's what and it was in one of those refrigerated rooms, and was just rows of them. There must have been like 12 of them there. And literally bearings would start to go in them, and you would hear them just go, and then just keep running. But those were like the hard disks of the time. I don't remember what the storage capacity of them was, but it ran like a whole office. Like that computer system ran the whole office. All you had in the office was like a little dumb terminal. You know, it was literally just a TTY connection with a coax cable, and then that communicated with the server.
They are insane.
Oh, Dylan, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you so much. So we worked on those, and those would just like sit there. And then I worked on a 4381 mainframe, and it was literally, if you could think of like a refrigerator in you know, like one of those big coolers that they've got, like not the big cooler itself, but like, you know how they have some of those like in restaurants, those like big stand-up refrigerators, those big huge ones that are like coolers, and think of like two of those next to each other. And that was a 4381 mainframe that I used to work on when I was probably like 19 years old, and 20 years old, and I worked on those. And they had the tape drives, and one of the things that I had to do with those tape drives was I would literally go, and I would have a dumb terminal there, and I had like the dumb terminal, you know, that one controlled the whole system. I could take the whole mainframe down if I wanted to.
Welcome aboard.
Which I did know how to do. I mean, you had to restart it at times. Like I said, at the time it was operations. Today it'd be basically sysadmin. It's just the role had not. System administrator really didn't evolve as a role yet. So I was actually working on computers and doing cool stuff. Back then that was like, it wasn't even like, you know, the roles that you have today. Back then it was just operations. Today it'd be sysadmin. But anyhow, the computer program the mainframe would run, and you would have what were called jobs at the time. And a particular job would start, and it was like one program. So this one program would start up, and it'd be like, okay, I need you to go get this tape, and this tape. And so then it'd like come up, and it would just basically, the program would stop running, and I'd have to go into the back room, and there was a huge tape library, which was literally as big as a cooler. It was taller than me. As a matter of fact, when I reached all the way up, I could just press the tape with my finger, and it would pop out enough I could grab it. It was that high up. And then what I would do is I'd pull that tape off, and then I'd run back over to the tape machine, and I'd mount it on there. And those were auto load ones, which were nice. You just kind of like put the tape up there, and you put it in there. And those are those big reels of tapes you might see in old movies. You'd put the tape up there, and then once you had that tape up there, you would go ahead and press the start button on it, and it'd feed the tape and wind it in and get it on the loop. and then you go back over to the console and you press basically any key, and it would go, okay, I found the tape, and it'd go zzz, and it'd start, the program would take off. And you might have to do that 8 times for different tapes, because it would like literally go and load like an inventory file, then it would like load a part file, and then it would write to another tape, and it'd be like, I need a scratch tape. And then once you put a scratch tapes are just blank tapes, you put a scratch tape up there, and then once you had the scratch tape up there, you'd have to like write down what the tape number was when it was done, because then tomorrow you'd use that tape. I'm doing great, Mr. False. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Baisley. Baisley? Did I say that right? I'm sorry. It looked like false from my first glance here. But yeah, so we would put that on there, and I literally would work an 8-hour shift. I'd work an 8-hour shift, and I worked the third shift way back in the day. I'd work the third shift, and during that third shift, I would do, mounting those tapes, and then reports would come off one of those big printers that'd be like, but like the old style stuff you see. I would go ahead and pull those reports off, and then I'd have to break up the reports and stack them up for people to pick up in the morning. And then so every night people would, I'd run the jobs, and there was literally 3 shifts. So you had a first shift, a second shift, third shift. So there's 3 shifts of people that basically just kept feeding this machine tapes and information. That was really my first computer job out of high school. It was actually kind of cool. Looking back at it now, it was totally ridiculous what we did, but hey, 1989, that was high tech. Oh, and Dylan, thank you so much for those bits. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed that there. What? I don't have my notifications.
I saw it go off.
Oh, maybe it went off and I was just talking. I was just yakking.
And then, if you get a chance to back up a little bit, Redfish was asking some questions, and Nick's been
Oh, let's see. Let's see. Who was asking what? Redfish, what if I got 1500X 1070 pair for gaming? So this is the first 1500X I have put together, but Mekius has been using them before, and so Mekius and I work together now, and I have a lot of respect for him and his knowledge. Matter of fact, I really, really didn't want to buy an AMD processor because I've had so much experience over the years with different processors. AMDs for a while really sucked, and they came out with, I remember, it's rebooting. It's Windows, man. Anyhow, AMD processor. I remember I bought a 38640, which was an AMD processor, and that one I had problems with. But yeah, so it's, I don't know, a lot of stuff. So I didn't want to buy an AMD, but the Stream PC I put together here, which is why you can keep seeing the PC reboot and everything. The Stream PC here, we put together with an AMD. So after the last one, I'm like, all right, I'll try it with Tigereyez's computer. So I was pretty happy with the performance of the Ryzen 3 1300. So that's why I went with the 1500X for Tigereyez. And she's got a 1050 in here. I have a 1060. That 1070 is going to just be a monster. So if I remembered what I looked at the specs for the different 10 series, the 1060 is roughly 4 times the performance of the 1050. And then the 1070, I think, is like 2 times the performance of the 1060. And I loaded up, I was playing Assassin's Creed last night on the 1060, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. I could not believe how beautiful it looked. So, Dylan, I think it's an unbeatable. That question could be talked about for hours or days. I guess the way I look at it for the CPUs and the AMD versus the Intel, the AMD is definitely a more budget processor. I think with the Intels, my experience for single thread processing is a little bit higher, but the it does very much seem, based on these two computers that I've just put together, which was the Stream PC a couple of weeks ago, and then now Tiger's PC, that the AMDs are very nice with the multi-threaded. So I don't know if I would switch my main PC to it, but depending on how hers performs, my next build might go the way of the AMD, just because I think it offers... I think if you have the extra money, the Intel's definitely a way to go. But the Intels are more expensive. So if you've got the money, you can go with the Intel. But the AMDs, for the bang for the buck, the AMDs I think are just superior in value. So, you know, it all depends on what you want to do. I mean, but once you go AMD or Intel, the only way to switch from one to the other is going to be getting a new motherboard. So, personal use. Offline account. No, you bite me, Microsoft. Create a super memorable password.
You see, they are insane.
Tigereyez, thank you for the bits. Ads. Seriously, you don't need to talk to the PC. Yeah, that's exactly it, Mechius. It does seem to be a battle between them going back and forth a lot. I was like looking at this fan here, and I wonder, I think Tigereyez, I might have to actually hook the fan up to its own separate power. Looks like the Aura Sync on this is separate from the... So Dylan, that's research and development. So that would be basically all the super nerds that are dealing with like really, really insanely cool transistors at the CPU level, going ahead and putting their effort, basically designing the CPU to be faster or better. So, pushing the envelope, yeah, it's really amazing. And so Dylan, I don't know if you've ever heard of Moore's law, but the essentially it basically means that every year computers will double their processing capacity, and that it's pretty much held true. It's only been that they've had to add additional cores, but it's like almost every year you're almost doubling your computer capacity and the speed. So we have Windows installed. As a matter of fact, I can pull out this CD-ROM drive. That did not take that long. Ah, you're Cortana, and you can totally piss off. Alright, so... oh, there it is. Thank you, Google. Yes, I want to switch to Chrome and turn this Microsoft crap totally off. Yeah, Cortana, piss off. Oh, I know, it's so ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, so to give you an idea of like Dylan, where this technology is at the actual CPU level. So they develop. So your CPU is on basically a little piece of silicon, and I'm sure you've heard of how silicon chips, Silicon Valley. You're basically on a piece of silicon, and what's called as a semiconductor, which means that it can actually possess more than one electrical state. It can be on or off. So that's where transistors come from, and that grew originally from vacuum tube technology, because a vacuum tube basically exhibits these same sort of on-off type of accept and install. Make it happen, damn it! Oh my god, shut up! Go, you silly Microsoft piece of crap. Microsoft probably does this on purpose. So anyhow, it's on a piece of silicon, which, is a... You have a black screen? I don't have a black screen. Potato, are you messing with me? I'm looking at the stream, it's fine. Messing with me. Yeah, now time to install Linux, right? So I've got, so anyhow, that silicon is like a very, very thin wafer. So they've got the nano, that you'll see on chips, nanometer technology. You'll see them talk about, like 35 nanometers, and they've got. So to give you how thin that they're making the silicon these days, that they're making it so thin, and the manufacturing process, it makes it so fast that the thinner they make it, the faster the chip can go. They've made it so thin at this point that it's almost to the point where the properties of the electrons no longer work in the semiconductor, an on-off state. They literally go through what's called the gates. So they block it so that way the electricity can't go through, so it'll stop. And it's so thin it can't stop the electrons from going through anymore. So that's how thin that they've got this process down to. Yep, chips are much smaller, but basically your computer works on the same type of technology that was originally developed with vacuum tubes. Yep. Which is something a lot of people don't realize or know. Oh yes, there we go. I feel like there should be a button on here that says never load this program again. What the hell? On the right keyboard, right? Where's the keyboard not working? Nice, Windows! What the hell is with Windows? No, I'm using the right one. That's nice. This is just so awesome. Why is the Windows settings not working? What the hell is going on? Yeah, I don't want... No kidding, there's no apps running. I'm trying to run them. I think Windows got mad at me. Let's restart. Reboots fix everything. Yeah, so if we want to talk about like chips, I mean, you've got like traditional amplifiers, right? And then you've also got amplifiers that like the class 4 ones that really just use pulse width modification to do that. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Technology, it's so interesting to... Oh, I gotta get you a pen, because I'm not going to want to type this password every time. Alright, let's see if this settings now... Why is Cortana still on here? Wait. Can I just... There we go. Hidden. That's it. There we go. Now we're looking at a real PC. Wow, look at that. I did have to... I just had to reboot. Man, Windows, you're acting weird tonight. Oh my gosh. Microsoft. No, really, we're still trying to hold on to a little hope that our web browser might survive. Give up.
I'm talking to Sarah and I said that's happening a lot too. So, that's worried.
It's an offline account, Mickey. I've got a Microsoft account, but I've got an offline account too. Oh, do you need the Microsoft one for the PIN? She could type her password. I don't really care. It's my convenience. It's my convenience. Yeah, I've got both on my accounts. I've got it hooked to Microsoft, then I've got the offline one as well. The only reason why I've got it hooked up there is because of the Xbox. That's the only reason why. Steam. Wow, see, look how fast your computer is, Tigereyez. Are you going to install your PC, Tigereyez, or am I going to do a be right back while I turn your computer on? Missy, are you still hanging out? Are you almost ready for shell shock here? English, I'm surprised the music's still going. Look at that NVMe drive go. Oh, man. Love it. All right, I think... You want to bring your headphones here so I can make sure those work? I thought that was like your favorite game, except for... I know, so that NVMe drive is absolutely insane. So if you've not used one before, the NVMe drives go at least 4 times faster than any SSD I've ever run into.
Oh, make it, monitor you got me that you want to steal?
Yeah, I did. We had a conversation about that earlier.
Clear right up.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know.
Yes, no cables. It was kind of neat putting it in. I mean, it's just... It's really weird. I had a whole stack of cables I don't even use anymore. Are you kidding me? No antivirus. No antivirus. Matter of fact, thank you for reminding me to turn that off. We have a policy here. Tigereyez does not download and install anything that's not been previously approved. And Windows Defender... Oh, Tigereyez wants to show her... I don't know if you can see it as well, but her headphones light up. Alright. Thank you for reminding me to turn that antivirus off. Yeah, so your computer will run considerably slower with your antivirus. Now, I don't recommend turning it off if you don't know what you're doing, but if you do, like people like myself and Mekius, and I'll turn Tigereyez's off here in a second here. But she's not allowed to like go to questionable websites. She's not allowed to do any of that goofy stuff. I mean, it's like, you got to know what you're doing to do this. There we go. Yeah, don't just stay off the porn sites. You won't have a problem. Wait, where's the turn off button? You can leave your firewall on. That's not a big deal. Why? There we go. There we go. Oh yeah.
Why do you turn it on?
Because it eats like it. So your virus scanner eats up probably 1/3 of like your processing power.
What is it on my laptop?
I can turn off on this one. You trust me, you're gonna want this off on a gaming PC. Otherwise, you're just gonna. Now we should get a big old X. Yes, that's what I want. Exploit protection, smart screen. I think we're good. So you can leave the other. App and browser. Check apps and... Oh, wait. Off. I knew there was one in here I had to turn off. Windows Defender Smart Screen protects your device from malicious sites and downloads. That's only for Microsoft Edge, so I don't really care. You can turn that off too. I know, I've got one in... Yeah, you're right, I do. I have one in the... I need to make sure it's, like, configured. Hang on. So you're going to have to make sure that you set it for USB here and down in the thing. So you just click your speaker, and then you click the arrow, and then you just got to make sure it's on that one if you want to use your headset. Okay. Alright, so... Yeah, I don't care about the Windows Store. And off. All this stuff does take up CPU. And Mechius is absolutely right. He's like my, he's always got my back. And he's right. The router does have one. And I have a pretty decent router. Alright, so... This is all off.
Why does it have a nice...
Because I turned it all off. It's pissed. Windows is like, danger, Will Robinson, danger! Yeah, most, Alright, so we're good. No, I don't. Alright, so we're turning Tigereyez's PC off. So you have Steam installed.
You never showed the call version. Okay. But no, you're not.
I think we're good. Yeah, they're on. It's just a little hard to see through there. Alright, so we're going to shut this down. So this is awesome now. Yeah, Mechius is also a streamer, and he is just as nerdy as I am when it comes to tech. Alright, so let's do this.
You're not going to be able to see the cool colors through it?
Sure you will, from over there. You won't be able to see them from here.
Both this is mine?
Yep, that's all yours. Yay, get this PC off my desk. I get my desk back here in about 2 minutes. Wow. So that was actually kind of a cool build. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna reclaim my desk. Bear with me a second here. Alright, I'm going to take like literally, I should be back in like 2 minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and just hook her PC up. Everything's already over there, so it'll just take me like 2 seconds here. I'm just going to take a break, and then we can go ahead and start playing some games. Here's your mouse. Here's your mouse. Yep, you're all good.